welcome everyone to our weekly night mindful moments. Every Wednesday at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, we come live here on Instagram. We will be moving to our YouTube channel soon in the new year. We're actually going to be working on figuring those details out in this next month. And so make sure that you're following us on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube link is in our highlights, and we often share it through our stories as well. And if you still can't find it, just send us a DM absolutely anytime, and we will send you the link to our channel. And feel free to spread the word with everybody you love and care about, because I'm sure everybody can use some self-care and tips and tricks that we share with all of you. And we appreciate the love and support as well. And so for the month of November, as most of you know, we've been doing a self-love series and focusing on that for the month of November, saying no to things that, don't serve us, and yes to the things that do.
That's
And
right.
for today's live, we're going to be going over the 10 branches of self-love. And stay tuned. So today is going to be a little bit longer than usual because we have a special guest speaker joining us for the last half hour of our live session. So you'll want to make sure you stay on till the end so that you can be there for that live interview. You're not going to want to miss that. So we're super excited. Yes, we're super excited for that. And yeah, so we're going to dive right in. And if anybody has any questions during or has anything that you want to add, feel free to say anything in the comments at any time as well. So for the 10 branches of self-love, so there are 11 specific types of self-love, and they're called the 10 branches, and the roots are self-worth, which puts together our self-love tree. And as we go through them, be thinking to yourself which ones you're are stronger and which ones are weaker for you and your own personal self-love. And maybe write it down too as we're going through the different ones. So number one, starting with number one, is self-awareness and honesty. Is a deep understanding of who you are and who you are not, with a commitment to truth about how your actions, thoughts, and all your choices affect your reality and the people and the world around you. So is that one of your strengths or weaknesses in self-love?
And if you have any thing that you do to work towards that, or any areas that you want to give any advice in, then you can also put it into the chat as well.
Yes, please share your thoughts anytime.
So the next one that we have is self-acceptance. So that's the choice to actively like who you are without exception, no judgment. And it's not wishing you were somebody else, and it's kind of like embracing yourself for who you are right now in this moment. So adoring and appreciating yourself, and just knowing that you're grounded in who you are and you're happy with who you are. Acknowledging the ways that you're imperfectly perfect, because we are all imperfectly perfect in one way or another. So yeah, I mean, self-acceptance can sometimes be difficult. I know that's something that sometimes I've struggled with,
Yeah.
wishing that something was a little bit different or that I was better at something. But we can also grow our skills and build ourselves into being better. But we need to learn to be appreciative of where we are right now and who we are.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's one that probably a lot of people struggle with, because I know even myself, I've struggled with that lots as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's so important. Um, and one of the next ones, so the third one is self-care. So it's choosing to make sure that you get what you need on all levels, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, every single day as well, not just like once a month I'm going to do some self-love or self-care, right? It's important to weekly focus on and daily on your self-care, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
that's
really cool.
awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Hey. Um, do you, just talking about self-care, what is one thing that you do for your self-care? And then I can maybe mention something that I do.
I know self-care, like I know for like weekly, I like to have like a hot detox, relaxing bath, listen to relaxing music, having Epsom salts in there and essential oils. It just really
Yeah,
kind of calms and clears my mind. And that's the time where like, I
absolutely.
can just log off and just relax and focus on the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, for self-care, I love to walk, and I try and walk. It's been really dark after work, so it's a little bit harder in the winter, in the darker months. But yeah, I do like to walk, and being outside and having the fresh air, Epsom salt bath. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think
Yeah,
it's
walking
something
in nature
that we
is
do.
so
Yeah, and something we do every day for self-care is making sure that we do take our supplements, right?
yeah, exactly. So important.
Yeah.
So if you're
Healthy
watching here,
body, healthy
even
mind.
what's one thing that you do for self-care every week? And as you
Blake, I saw that you said you try. What are things that you try to do? Yeah, Brenda, I know you like walking too. Can't wait. It's beautiful. Yeah, it is.
yeah, it's very calming and relaxing.
Walking the pooch. Me time self. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
So very. Yep,
yeah.
absolutely. Those are all great ideas. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
So self-compassion and self-forgiveness, definitely ones that I have struggled with,
Mhm.
um, in the past for sure. And I mean, still, I think some days, you know, um, there's times that things crop up, right? Um, yeah, Blake, you do build stuff. You're really talented that way for sure. Um, so choosing to open your heart, and be loving witness to yourself, right? So accepting yourself in the moment. Yeah, meditation. Yeah, that's great too.
Mhm.
Accepting yourself in the moment without judgment, right? So whether you've done something, that you're really happy with, you're not happy with, those kind of things. Again, it leads a little bit back to the self-acceptance, is accepting where you are and forgiving yourself, and accepting that, we're human. Kindness and understanding towards yourself. And I think that kind of leads into a little bit of self-talk too, right? What you're saying to yourself. Um, Heal and transform your imperfections and weaknesses. So again, talking about building on those strengths, those things that you already have and that you're already like good at, build on those, because those strengths can get stronger, and that makes you feel, like better about what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Unconditional love. So loving yourself for who you are in that moment, no matter kind of what's going on, whether you've made the best decision of your life or maybe a decision you're not so proud of. You can take those moments that you're not so proud of and learn from those and grow and move forward. Um, but if you're not able to give yourself forgiveness and be compassionate to yourself, sometimes it adds as a bit of
Mhm.
a block in moving forward. Not that I would ever
Mhm.
know, but
Definitely, definitely. And like Marie said, it's so hard to work on self-forgiveness. It's a daily occurrence that I believe that
absolutely it is.
we probably all have to work on. It's so hard
It
for sure.
is. And I think it's because maybe we have certain standards for ourselves, which is good to have standards and good to have things you want to work towards, but making sure those standards are realistic. And if you don't meet that exact standard that day because something goes on, because life happens, then being able to provide yourself some compassion.
Exactly. And the next one is self-trust. Is choosing to listen and to follow the guidance of your inner voice, believing you know what is right for you, even when other people think or say otherwise, right? Because you may
Absolutely.
be thinking and feeling one way, or this is like what you you want to do or what's right for you, but then you have other people saying other things, and then you start to like second question yourself and
Yeah.
everything, right? But your inner voice, you should always be guided by that and always listen to your inner voice.
Yeah, our bodies tell us
Yeah,
something, right? Like,
you got that gut
um,
feeling.
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes we question that and leading to self-doubt. And we say, well, maybe that's not it. And that I was actually having a conversation with somebody today. I'll add in really quickly. And we were talking just about accepting people for who they are. And the one thing that I said that I've really, really worked on, and I think that, I mean, I'm not perfect in, but something that I'm really, really mindful about is that when people say, act, and do certain things, accepting them for that, right?
Mhm.
Not trying to justify people's actions or make excuses for them, because you need to accept that person for where they are, who they are at, and if you don't want to be around that, then don't surround yourself around that, but
Yeah,
accept what they're showing you, right?
yeah, that is so true.
Yeah, our voice should be
Yes,
kind,
yeah.
definitely.
Sometimes our inner voice isn't that kind to us.
No,
That's true.
absolutely.
That's very true, and I think we all struggle with that.
Yep. And as we've said on our lives many a times before, we're always listening. Even if you're not saying it out loud, you're still listening,
Yeah,
and being mindful of that.
yeah, exactly.
So we are at
Yeah.
self-esteem. So it's a strong belief and regard for yourself, a strong confidence in your ability. And so, again, that's what we're talking about, is like building self-esteem is just by doing things and practicing, because nobody does something the first time and is like perfect at it, right?
No,
It's things
never.
that we have to right, with things we have to continually build and build our skill and continue to do, um, and so that builds our ability, and once our ability is there, then we have a little more confidence and self-esteem, right? And
Yeah,
self-esteem, I think, comes from also knowing yourself, like we were talking about before too, is knowing yourself and grounding yourself in who you are. So your morals and your values and your beliefs, and not allowing the outside world, whether it be social media, whether it be friends, whether it be other
yeah,
people, sway you in what your actual grounded beliefs are, right?
exactly. Because that can be very easy to do sometimes.
Yeah,
Or even like
and that
start
adds to our self-doubt, like we were talking.
exactly that, like we talked about, and we also talked about like not comparing to other people too. And sometimes that can also affect your self-esteem as well.
Yeah, comparison. What do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy, I
Yeah,
think they say,
it
right?
definitely is.
It is. It,
It
it
definitely
is. And
is.
because even though, and I think we'll talk about self-comparison after. We're coming up to that, but yeah,
And then the next one is self-empowerment. So choosing to take charge of and responsibility for your life by acting to create the life that you truly desire without apology.
yeah,
We are all meant to live the life of our dreams, the life that we desire to live. And we need to self-empower ourselves to do that, to chase our dreams.
yeah. Live your purpose,
Yeah,
right? We're all here and we all have a purpose, and that purpose looks different for every one of us. And that's okay, because we need all of these people to make the world go round and work together.
exactly. So we empower all of you to live your absolute best life every single day.
Absolutely. You bet. Um, so self-expression, um, it's your choice, um, in your choice to let the world see you fully, truthfully, and without apology. Again, so it's not holding back. It's being full and free in your expression of your heart and soul, your thoughts. And again, I mean, self-expression is really important. I think it's important to be raw and to be vulnerable and to be able to
Authentic.
express yourself, and show up authentically.
Yeah.
But I mean, if there's things that you want to say that aren't necessarily kind. Maybe we need to filter those, right? Because
Exactly.
some people use that as a self-expression, right? And we don't want to hurt other people. We want to be mindful and being kind to others as we need to be to ourselves. But if something's not right, stand up and say it. If it's going against your morals or your beliefs or your values, or it's hurting somebody else, I mean, say it, right? Because silence is compliance, and I say that all the time too, right? So if you're letting things happen and go under the radar, and you're not the person to step up and express yourself and express like how things can be done differently, then you're kind of like accepting that, right?
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to be doing that. And
No.
like Amanda said, and she said, yes, and come out of your comfort zone too. Yes,
Yeah, you bet. You
self-expression
bet.
does help you to express yourself and get out of that comfort zone that lots of us so often stay in.
And your self-expression, like when you're expressing your emotions or how you're feeling or how something's made you feel, those are valid, right? And you're valid in feeling whatever you want to feel.
Yeah, exactly. And the
No
next
one
one,
can tell you whether it's right or wrong.
exactly. That is very true. And the next, moving on to the next one is self-respect and self-honor, which is the commitment to making only choices that respect and honor the sacred soul that you are.
Yeah.
And yeah, Amanda, I can relate to you. I also don't. I think probably a lot of people don't like confrontation. And that's something I know I'm working on as well, but have been improving a lot in the last years.
But I mean, confrontation, that can look very different too, right? Like
Yeah.
some people want to yell and scream, and I do
Well,
not
yeah,
engage. Like, I mean,
that's not
I'm not giving them
something you want to engage
anything.
with.
Yeah, but confrontation can also be really healthy, right? And it can help to build your relationships with whoever in your life, and it can help for you to learn to see how somebody else is seeing things, because that takes us out of our box, and also for them to see how you're seeing things, because that helps them to grow. So healthy confrontation can be really good, right? But
That's
again,
true.
if somebody's not healthy at having confrontation and being able to deal with things, I mean, I don't think you're going to get very
Yeah.
far. And
It makes it hard. And that's where you got to set the boundaries. We've talked about
uh,
boundaries before too, right? And sometimes you do have to set those boundaries,
yeah,
but you do have to do some confrontation, maybe uncomfortable that you don't want to deal with.
yeah,
um, but that's when the boundaries get set.
yeah. And when we go into confrontation, it's because there's two different conflicting views or two different ideas, right? So
Yeah.
being able to see all ideas is really important. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it, but we can always respectfully disagree with somebody as well.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Um, sorry, my cat is acting out a little bit. So,
No worries.
um, um, so self-pleasure is another one. So choosing consistently to create, receive, and experience joy. Like feed and nourish your soul. So what gives you pleasure? You know, we were talking about that a little bit in the self-care, you know, when Chandra was saying she likes to have the essential oils and take the bath and use Epsom salts. Like that is something that's pleasurable. Sorry. So that's something that's pleasurable because it's relaxing and everything. So um, me, I like to walk, and actually both of us like to
Yeah.
hike. Um, so I mean, doing those kind of things is something that feeds our soul, right? And it makes us feel grounded, and we find joy. Yeah, Amanda, going to the mountains. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mountains bring lots of peace and joy.
They do. And very little
Um,
Wi-Fi,
yeah.
which is
Which is great because you can disconnect. You can disconnect, be
absolutely.
mindful in the moment and just enjoy the nature and the scenery and the quietness.
Ocean
I
and
love,
waterfalls. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, I love ocean waterfalls. I love water.
Me
Love
too.
sitting by.
Water's really
Yeah,
grounding, right? And they say like
so
water,
relaxing.
yeah,
I can go
like
sit beside a river or something and just feel so at peace.
Absolutely. And that's because our bodies are made up the majority of water, right? So
Yeah,
people who have anxiety and stuff, they say, take a shower, go wade in some water, go do those kind of things, because water in our bodies and water, it helps to ground us. Yeah.
yeah,
Water's
exactly.
beautiful and soothing. It is zen.
Definitely a zen. So, and to end off, we're going to end off in the roots of all these beautiful self-love branches, which is self-worth. Okay, so self-worth is choosing to value yourself from the inside out without regard to external standards or opinions, and create your life from knowing that you are enough just as you are right now. Repeat this after me, everybody. Like, I am enough just as I am. You, you are enough. Oh, Amanda said she didn't know that about anxiety and water. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one tip we often give people, is to like either go in the shower and let water hit on you, or go like walk through the water, because it helps to ground. Our bodies are mostly made of water. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, self-worth. And a lot of people, I think, struggle with self-worth too. And that actually, it's interesting because I don't know if you see how all the branches of this tree lead into
Yeah.
that, lead into, you are who you are, and be proud of who you are,
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Yes. I am enough just as I am. Put that up
Yes,
on
you
your
bet.
wall as well. Like, put that up somewhere.
Everybody type that in there. I
Yeah.
am enough.
Yes.
Everybody type in the
Everybody.
chat, I am enough.
Yes. Let's see everyone type in there and say it out loudly as you're typing it to yourself. So your brain hears you say it. And if you guys also want to add on, like, as we're going to be bringing on our guest speaker right away. So as we're bringing her on, if you guys want to be just thinking, what is one of the branches that you find more of your strength, and which one is more of a weakness? If you guys want to type in one that's your strongest and one that's your weakest into the chat, that would be awesome. And in the meantime, while you guys are thinking about which one's your strongest and which one's your weakest, we are going to bring on our guest speaker, and then I will introduce her as soon as she comes on. So I'm just going to send her an invite. So if you guys want to drop those in the comments.
Yeah,
I'm going to bring our guest speaker on.
absolutely. I am enough. I love that.
So,
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
how are you?
Great. How are you, ladies? You look wonderful.
Oh, so
You
do
look
you.
amazing too. We're so, well, first of all, thank you so much for coming on to our live tonight. We truly appreciate that. And thanks everybody who's been on here as well and engaging. We appreciate you all taking the time out of your night to be here with us. And I'm excited to introduce Ruth. She's a very dear friend of both of us, and we're excited to have her on here. She comes from a really large family. She has a loving husband, 3 children, 3 grandchildren that she loves and adores so much, and she tries to spend every moment that she can with them. She's faced her fair share of challenges along the way, including abuse and loss of children. These experiences could have made her give up on life, but instead, that gave her the courage to strive for something better, not just for herself and her family, but for others who have also faced similar struggles and losses in the past, and who are still facing struggles as well. Ruth inspired me so much. As I mentioned on our last live, she's been on her own self-love journey, and she gifted me this book. And I know that Brenda's on here, and Brenda had mentioned on our last live that she started this book as well. And I was like, oh, great, because she doesn't know who our guest speaker is next week.
Yeah.
But that's actually who gifted me this book. And I'm so grateful for that as well, because I realize and recognize that I'm like, I'm all about self-care and everything, but I never really take the time out of my day to like focus on self-love every single day, right? And this journal has been a great guidance, and I'm so grateful that you gifted that to me, Ruth. And we're so grateful that we're going to interview her now on about her self-love journey to inspire and I hope into everybody's days as well. So thank you so
Let's
much. We're excited. Have you
Let's
heard?
send some hearts and welcome Ruth in the chat. I see people already saying hi. Thank you so much. It's great to see you, Ruth. I'm glad you're here.
Aw,
And I see Amanda
thank
said she
you.
would love that book. So I'm just going to put this up here so you can take a screenshot if anybody wants it.
And we'll put it in the notes on our YouTube as well. When we post it on the YouTube, we will put the notes of that book as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yay. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first question. So, Ruth, can you share a pivotal moment in your life that sparked your self-love journey and what led you to prioritizing self-love?
So, I want to first of all say thank you very much, ladies. Um, I am so honored to be here, and I do appreciate everything. And I love all of you guys. And hi to everyone.
I got some hearts going on. I don't know why it
Oh,
doesn't.
I know, that's so awesome. I don't know. That's so cool how you can do. Oh, mine did it.
You did it.
Oh my God, where's mine?
Anyhow, yes. So pivotal moment really in my self-love journey was when I realized that I was constantly seeking validation from others. Um, and it actually became clear that I was like neglecting my own needs and feelings. Um, Really, this realization led me to prioritizing like my self-love, as I understood that my worth should not be determined by others' opinions. I realized that I had been relying really on like my partners, my friends, my relatives to for their self-love and understanding that my worth wasn't coming from within them, but was actually coming from within myself. I just, that's when the whole pivotal moment, really, I started realizing that, holy moly, what am I doing? Why do I always need validation? So I started looking into myself, like looking into self-love, doing different books and stuff. I love the workbooks that you're talking about. Absolutely, I do. I love them. They're a wonderful thing, especially for women. Like you're so right. We as women, we kind of put ourselves on the back burner and we forget that that we are responsible and happy and need to be responsible for ourselves before we're responsible for other people.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
And I
so
think it's really
true.
important what you brought up too is like, you know, especially in the social media age and those
Yeah.
kind of things, and it's so easy to find that validation elsewhere. And then when you turn that off and you don't connect with that for a while, where are you? Right? It's
Mhm.
like those self check-ins.
Yeah.
It's very true. Like, and you have to realize that you are worth it. You know, I was on a call today with a really close friend of mine, and she's like was talking to me about how she wasn't prioritizing herself in a relationship she's in. It's a newer relationship, and you know she came to the realization that it's about her as well, not just about him.
Yeah.
You know, and we as women, I find that we kind of give all of our love and self-worth, if you want to put it that way, to other people and forget that it's about us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
agree. And especially like hanging out with people or at work or those, like we give at work and we give to the
Mhm.
kids and we give to our grandchildren and we give to our friends and we give to the business we have. But it's recognizing that there has to be a balance, right?
yeah.
And
100%.
that's where you can catch in a lot of our other lives for anybody on here when we talk about boundaries, because that's key, right? Is boundaries keeps like yourself protected and allows you to, as I said today actually on the walk when I was talking earlier with the person, as I said, stop pouring into cups that don't pour into yours. I was like, that's that, like, and I really truly believe in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too. 100%.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm going to ask the next question, if that's okay.
Sure.
What has been an obstacle for you in connecting to your inner self, connecting to yourself? What's an obstacle?
So, one of the obstacles that I faced with connecting with myself is a tendency to get caught up in like external expectations and societal pressures on myself. So, overcoming this involves like creating intentional time for self-reflection, that like journaling, prioritizing my own values and desires. Another obstacle has been the tendency to compare myself to others, which often left me feeling inadequate. And I've worked on this by focusing
Mhm.
on like my own unique journey and reminding myself that everyone, absolutely everyone, has a path, um, like on their path, they struggle on their path as well. So don't worry whether you're struggling on that path, because everybody is struggling on a path. Just because they look like they are doing amazing doesn't really mean that you don't know their backstory. So focus on yourself and work through that. That's what I can say for sure.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. Yes. And that's so true. Like, you don't know other people's struggles and how they got to where they are. And even if they seem like their life is perfect, everybody has their struggles that they face and overcome and everything, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
so true. And we forget that, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's easy to compare ourselves, right? Like in
Yeah.
social media, on TV, in movies, like again, we're flooded in this day and age. I mean, I think technology has some really healthy, good parts to it, which allows us to connect like we are here today. But also, if it can be taken in a way that's self-harming.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
No,
And
exactly.
And I'm going to tell you straight that I work on that every day. This isn't something that just goes away. I find like all of a sudden it'll come up and you just have to keep working on it.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree
Yeah.
100%.
And Isabel says you never know what people are going through. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's so true,
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
people can present as though all is good and nothing's wrong. And I mean, again, you just really don't know what's happening behind that closed door.
You don't.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important, like Isabel said too, to be respectful, like to always be nice to everybody. Even if
Yep.
somebody kind of like seems like they're being disrespectful to me if I'm out and about at a store or whatever, I have that thought, well, maybe they had like a really bad day. They're not meaning to come across that. So I'm never rude back. I always reply back in a nice way. I'm always kind to everybody because I don't know what they're going through in their own personal life too, right? So I think it's always,
100%.
I
Yeah,
believe it's
especially
always
on social
important.
media.
Always
You have
important.
your little keyboard warriors in the background sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So be nice and kind always.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so, Ruth, how do you handle negative self-talk? I know we all have negative self-talk. How do you handle negative self-talk, and what strategies do you use to reframe those thoughts that you have when they do come about?
So you're right. Everybody has negative self-talk. I mean, I guess there are amazing people who maybe they don't, but I think personally that everybody goes
I,
through it. I
Yeah,
I
just
think
do.
you're right.
So, I handle negative self-talk by recognizing that it is a pattern and reframing from those thoughts. So, um, one of the techniques that I've kind of been starting to use is a cognitive restructuring, where I challenge negative beliefs and replace them with positive affirmations. So, for instance, if I was saying something in my mind, oh, I'm just a terrible person, or I can't do this, I turn it around and say, you know what? This really is something I can do. It might take me a little bit longer, but I can do it. So I'm refocusing my thought pattern Writing down my thoughts also helps me gain perspective. So, and I believe in this completely, where you dump thought. So
Yeah.
you just write whatever your thoughts are, write, and then turn the page. So that's what I do. You can reflect on it later, but turn that page and focus on something positive. I think that that's really important to do. Um, some of the other things, negative, like a negative self-talk, by recognizing it is a common human experience. We're not weird.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Everybody has it.
And we
So
have them
don't,
in the comments even admitting to it. So you know what?
Yeah,
It doesn't discriminate.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
We all experience that probably on a daily basis.
yeah,
exactly,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And you really got to really focus, like Amanda said too. You have to really focus on like really shifting that thought to think it, change it to a positive way to say it or think
Right,
it.
right. So when I notice these thoughts, I
Yeah.
challenge them by asking myself, if I would say such things, like, would I say such things to a friend? You know,
Yes.
then you reframe those thoughts into a positive affirmation that nurtures not only, like, if I was going to talk to them and say, I wouldn't go up to them, oh, you're just a terrible person, or you can't do this. You don't say that to a friend.
That's
So,
right.
but
Yeah.
you're supposed to be your best friend. You are supposed to be. Yet we treat ourselves very, very harshly.
Yeah.
So,
That is
Yeah.
so
so
I think that
true.
that's true.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And
It's like if you're talking to yourself and you're like, would I say this to my best friend or my mom or, would I say that to someone else?
Yeah.
No.
and
Would
we
you
Like
say
we're
it to
our,
spend the most time with ourselves,
yeah,
right? Like the person that is
exactly?
exactly.
with you every single day, all day long is you, right?
Yeah. So be kind to that person
Yeah.
because you
That's
get to
right.
spend that
Because you
day with
Yeah.
him or her
can't
every single
escape
day.
them.
I know.
No, you can't. You're with
Yeah.
them, and there's that old saying that says, you are with yourself the longest in your whole life. It's
Yeah,
true.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe. So nurture your self-esteem. Nurture it,
And you're
you
right.
know.
Yeah.
Like God made us to be how we are, right? And I think that if you don't honor that too, then you're not honoring who you were here to be and the purpose that you have.
That's true.
Exactly. That is
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
Um,
I believe that.
so I think it's my question. We've been
Yeah.
talking, and um, so what are some things that you implement weekly for your self-care to look after yourself, Ruth?
So some of the self-care practices that I use are, I take time for relaxation now, like I'll get up early in the morning and I have time for myself, or late at night and I go into a bath. I do the same thing, Chandra. So I'll go in and I'll put the Epsom salts, I'll put the candles down, and I also will have a glass of wine. That's why I put a glass of wine. I'll have a glass of wine,
I'll have one too.
and just, yeah, and just relax and be with
Yeah.
myself in solitude. Sometimes I listen to some really nice soft music, or to an inspirational podcast. I sometimes do that as well. It just depends where I'm at. Um, I practice mindfulness through meditation, you know, um, and ensuring I have moments of solitude to recharge and reflect. And I believe that is, like, when I was having my young children, it was something that you don't normally do. And I know moms who have young children and stuff like that, they don't take enough time for themselves because they're so busy. And I think it
Mhm.
is so important to just give yourself that time at least once a day, if you can, or at least twice a week, where you take time for you. Go for a walk, get out of the house. Because I know I mean, you'd go to the bathroom and honestly, you'd have your children knocking on the door. It's like, hey,
Little hand that
we're
comes
here.
underneath.
Exactly. So those are things like you got to find a way to have it
Yep.
for you, and prioritize it. They say prioritize having time out with your husband or your significant other. Prioritize time for yourself. Go to Starbucks and have a really nice tea or coffee or whatever. Go to a lounge and just have a really nice glass of wine. Get out of the house and do something for yourself if you have children and stuff.
Yeah,
just just saying that, or
exactly.
I practice yoga. I know that people, they love hiking. It's not something I can do, but I love reading. So I do that. I
Mhm.
also ensure I have time for relaxation, whether that's enjoying like a warm bath, like I said, or spending time with loved ones that are going to recharge you. Like surround yourself with people who are going to recharge you.
Yes, that is so true. Yeah, we talked about that in our last live too. Like who you surround yourself matters because you want to leave feeling energized and recharged, not drained and stressed,
Yeah.
right?
So true.
So I
Yeah,
love that. That's
yeah,
awesome, Ruth.
yeah,
I'm so proud of you for like taking the time out of your days, your daily busy life, to focus on you and to spend that quality time with yourself, doing things that nourish your body and your
yeah.
soul. So,
I believe that. And
yeah,
it's important.
yeah,
And like I said, I think women have a very hard time doing that.
yeah, exactly.
I
And like you
agree.
said, especially moms with kids too, right?
Yep.
I don't have kids. I have fur babies, but I know like I have lots of friends who have kids, and yeah, I don't think many of them take the time for themselves because they're so busy with like mom life and kids and everything, right? But it's so important that to carve that time out,
Yeah,
even if it means waking up early before the kids wake up,
it's true.
right?
And I think that it
So
helps to really ground yourself in your own identity, right? Not that you're this as a job or you're this as a mom or you're this as a grandma, but you are your own person, right? And when we're talking about self-worth and those kind of things, is not attaching that to anything
yeah,
except for you in those moments.
Yeah.
exactly.
Thank you. And
Aw.
we're definitely proud of you too.
Thanks, Amanda. I'm so proud of
Aw.
you as well. I know you've grown a lot in the
Yeah,
last years, and I'm so proud of
I,
you.
I've
I
seen it
am
for
too.
sure.
I've
Yeah.
seen so much growth in you. So
Yeah.
way to go.
Yeah.
And it's such an
Honestly,
inspiring thing to see when you see the growth in others as well and the things that they've overcome. Like that inspires me immensely.
it's true.
Absolutely it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And it's what inspires, like, we all have stress that enters, and like knowing and seeing that inspires a person to keep going on days that might seem more difficult too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another question, Ruth. So would you be able to share with everybody a personal mantra or affirmation that has helped you on your path to self-love?
So, so absolutely. So one of the personal mantras that I have, and it's funny that you guys did it, it's I am enough just as I am.
Oh,
So
that's
I am
awesome.
enough just as I am is really, that's why I was like, this is perfect. So
Yeah.
this affirmation really serves as a daily reminder that my worth is inherent and not contingent on external validation, because
Mhm.
that's what you have to work on. That's one of the things I work on.
Yeah.
Um, and another personal mantra that has been particularly helpful is I am worthy of love and respect just as I am. So it's
Mm,
kind of the same thing, it's just a little bit more. And
I
really
love that.
yeah, and what this affirmation serves as a powerful reminder of my value, and it encourages me to embrace my authentic self, so who I truly am. So kind of what you said, Emma.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
Well, it's
love that.
hard.
Yeah.
It's very tough to show up authentically as you are because there again we're talking about all the like external expectations or even expectations we put on ourselves,
Mhm.
and at the end of the day, you being you
Yeah.
is just enough. And you are absolutely right, Ruth.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I love it, ladies, that you are typing that in the chat and
Yes.
probably saying it out loud to yourself as you type it in there. I
Yeah.
love it.
Even
That's
put it
so
on a
good.
sticky on your mirror, right? Just to
Yeah,
remember every single day.
Yeah. And you know what? It's good for anyone who else is with you. Like if you're with somebody else in your house, it's good for them to see because they should be
yeah,
saying the same thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
And I love how you put that too. It's so true. You know, it's not contingent on anything. It's not contingent on you thinking
No.
something, doing something, being some way, what you're wearing, what job you do, anything. It's not contingent. It's contingent only on the fact that you are who you are in this moment, right?
Yeah.
It's true. Really true. 100%.
I
Yeah.
love that. Um, so I have another question here. So, what are some tips that you have for somebody who's starting their own self-love journey? So if we have people in the chat or people who are tuning in later to our recording, what kind of tips would you give them when they're starting their own self-love journey?
So some of the tips that I would to build self-love is to practice gratitude regularly. Constantly practice gratitude. Challenge your inner critic because it's what we're talking about. Challenge that inner critic to surround yourself with supportive people and engage in activities that nurture your passions and interests. So if you love going hiking, then go hiking. You know, if you love to go swimming, go swimming. If water is your zen, like me, um,
Mhm.
then do something around water because I know I feel so much better when I'm around water. Some people feel better when they're in the mountains. Some people feel better when they're with people, with certain people. Some people feel better when they are, going for whatever, a run or just working out, like really working out. Like find that thing that really works for you and do it. Find something that nurtures your passion, your interests, and consistency is key. So keep doing it. You should do it at least, like I say, I think you should do it once a day,
Yeah.
especially for your own self-worth. If you can't, and I know people will say, I don't have time. Find time. I'm
Yeah.
telling you that. And as a person who's gone through having children, I now have grandchildren. You need time for yourself. I have a husband, so you're thinking about that other person all the time as well. Think about you. Some of the other things that I truly is if you're looking to build self-love, practice self-awareness, right? So practice that self-awareness by identifying negative thoughts, engage in positive self-talk, and surround yourself, like I keep saying, with those supportive people. Explore activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. And I'm with the one. I'm gonna read this because it's so cool. I did this in the one book. Okay, so in my self-love book, and it's done by Jordan Brown. So if you're wondering which one I'm looking at, it says create a safe space because everyone needs to feel safe. Safety is an important part of healing from past hurts. Self-soothing activities can create a sense of safety within yourself in a loving and compassionate way. So here's my thing to you, to everybody here. This is a list that they gave, and you can to choose a new activity to practice each day this week. So picture things you're looking forward to. That's one. Remember the words to a calming song or poem. Give yourself a hug or a massage. Your own hands, shoulders, or feet. Like do it yourself. You can do that every day if you want. Imagine a safe, soothing place such as the beach or a loved one's home. List your favorite movies, books, foods, etc. Visualize your favorite place or the face of someone you love, pets included, and repeat a self-compassionate phrase such as, this is really hard and I'll get through it. So I love that. Like that was one of the key things that I worked on and I just thought was amazing part of that book. And I think it's a great way to start, especially if you're first starting how to self-love yourself, and getting these
Mhm.
like the workbook for women. Honestly, I can't say enough about it. Working through it every single day has been, for me, has been just amazing. And it gives you such an awareness of who you truly, truly are. And I think that
Mhm.
that's really important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so important.
Yeah.
Brenda's asking
And as
what stage. I think this is.
no,
Do you have this one as well, Brenda? It was actually in this book that she read from.
Yeah.
oh yeah, in the other book.
Yeah. It's in
And
the
when you were
other book.
saying, somebody wrote in
What?
the chat that safety is important, and that's right. Like even when you're looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? The very, very fundamental for somebody in anybody is safety, right? And so we can't grow, we can't feel good to be ourselves. We can't do a lot of things if we don't feel safe, right?
Yeah.
So I started with the Self-Love Journal for Women by Jordan Brown. That's the one I started with. And then I switched to the one with Megan Logan.
Okay. I did it opposite.
Yeah.
I'm actually started with the self work workbook.
Right.
Which one did you suggest? Now, are you diving into the
I
second one
actually,
now?
to tell you quite honestly, I think I would have done the workbook first.
Workbook first? Okay.
Yeah,
Just for
I would have.
anybody that knows workbook first.
Yeah, I would absolutely do the workbook first. If I was going to do it again, which I probably will go through, except that I've written through it,
Yeah.
but
But you
whatever.
can still go through it
You
again.
still
Yeah.
go through it again. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're going to grow too, right? So if you go through it and you go back and you start
Yeah.
to read it, then you start to recognize your growth too. And I think that that's really important because I don't think a lot of the times we give ourselves enough credit for the growth that we have made, right?
that's true. Very
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can recognize that when you're doing it in a second round or a third round or however
Like,
many times you decide to.
darn, I was good.
Yeah. Exactly.
exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so
Yeah, that
happy
would be a great
she's
idea.
doing much better, Amanda. That makes my heart so happy to know. And I
Absolutely.
can even tell as well, like even when I see her, I can see the difference and change in her as well,
Yeah,
which makes me so happy to see.
True.
absolutely. Well, is
Thank
there any final questions that we have for Ruth before we kind of wrap up? Ruth, it's been wonderful, and thank you for
Yes.
all your amazing comments and advice and opening up and being vulnerable to all of us about kind of some of the things that you do on a daily basis. I know it's not always easy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it. And I hope that you guys get some ideas and thoughts that you can use as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here on our live to add
Yeah,
inspiration
and
to
we love
everybody's
you
night.
and appreciate you every day too for all that you do for our business and stuff as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. We have an exciting announcement to make as we end for the last 5 minutes. So, yay! So, going on self love. So, we've been on our self love month. The three of us and a couple other amazing ladies have been working hard on putting together a Glow Up for the Holidays challenge, which will be starting on December 6th. We have a private group on Facebook for everybody who signs up. We have an amazing supportive community of women, like-minded women, just like all of us here. It's for, just so you know, Blake, it is for men and women to join. But
Yeah.
anyways, we have a private group. We're going to be doing mocktails. There's going to be self-love going in there. We're going to be glowing up from the inside out and
You can
feeling our
write
absolute
in
best for the
there and get
holidays.
advice and give advice and get advice and kind of like help cheer people on too, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a good community, and it's supportive, and it's a safe place.
Exactly. We'll be learning face yoga as well in there, and just so many fun, exciting things going on. And we'll be adding a value every single day within that group. So, so yeah, don't worry, Blake. You can join us for the glow up if you want to. So, if anybody would love to join our glow up challenge and would like more information, drop in the comments, glow up, or send us a private DM, and we can send you more details.
Yeah.
And yeah, for the supplements that we're going to be taking during this glow up as well, we have an amazing Black Friday special. So if you're all interested in learning more about this glow up challenge, you'll want to DM ASAP.
Yeah.
Because our sale is the best sale that we've ever had, and it only goes till Monday.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it. So send us a DM, let us know, and we can share that information with you right away.
Yes, so yay. And the challenge is free to join for all of our customers.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing incentive that we do for everybody. And we're so excited. We've been working really hard on this and can't wait.
Awesome.
So
Brenda, we'll chat for sure.
Emma will
And
make sure she
it's
sends a
a great
message.
group.
Oh, yeah. I'm super excited for it. I've been getting excited every day. So awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to be here with us.
Yeah.
We truly appreciate it. We will be saving this recording into our YouTube. So if you missed the beginning part, if you hopped on later, or if you know somebody that could hear anything that we had to say, you can send them the link to our YouTube as well.
We'll put it in our stories as well, the link to this one, and then you can share that out.
Yes, we will post that tomorrow through our stories, and feel free to share with anybody, tag anybody in the comments who needs to hear what we said today, and we hope you all have a blessed night. We're sending you lots of love and prayers and hugs, and we will see you all next Wednesday.
Thank you so much. Your time is much appreciated. Sending everybody love and light. Good night.
Good night. Love you all.
Love you.
Bye.